So Geoff, tell us a little bit more about behavioural engagement.
So behavioural engagement is in a way is external, so because we can observe it from the outside, and if you want to contrast it to the two that are coming, which is cognitive engagement and motivational engagement, those are both internal to the learner. So it's important to keep in mind that we're looking at what the learner is doing, be it tasks or whatever. I'd like to give you some examples maybe just to make it clearer. If you're thinking of an e-learning program, behavioural engagement would incorporate the learner dragging and dropping something, for example, or clicking on a link or turning a page. In a webinar situation, behavioural engagement would be somebody using the chat box. It would be, another example might be, say, responding to a poll. In a face-to-face or classroom situation, behavioural engagement might be someone putting up their hand, turning the pages in their workbook, or engaging in a discussion with somebody that they're working with. Okay, all of those are examples of what we call behavioural engagement. And those behaviours can actually range from being negative and to positive, or what you might call disruptive, all the way through to productive. Obviously what we want is we want to see productive behaviours from those learners. The problem is that there are two issues that come into play here. The first is, and we know that lots of research backs this up, and that is that many learners are very poor managers of their own learning. So left to their own devices, they'll often choose to focus on work that's easier, or tasks that are easier to perform, or work that they actually have been exposed to in the past, rather than putting themselves into uncomfortable situations. And the second point, I think this is the more important one, is that just because people are busy, learners are doing something, doesn't mean that learning is happening. And again, we know that from experience is that learners that are active are not necessarily learning efficiently or effectively, or in many cases maybe not learning at all, because it's what's going on in their heads that matter, not necessarily what they're actually doing that we can observe them doing. Okay, an activity for the sake of an activity is not productive from a learning perspective.